Welcome to Rewrite Rising, the podcast where you can rewrite your health journey and rise above your past. I'm Drew, sharing Mindset Mondays to ground and guide you, thriving Thursdays to cut through the noise and bring clarity to nutrition. If you find these conversations helpful or think someone else would enjoy them too, make sure that you are subscribed. Whether you're tuning into YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or anywhere else, feel free to share them along the way. All right, let's get into today's episode. Hi, my name is Drew, and I created Rewrite Rising because health isn't just a passion for me. It's my lived experience. Now, my story is shaped by food insecurity, an addiction in my family, illness, loss, and the hard reality of how misinformation and lack of access can cost us. I grew up in a food desert with food insecurity, mild starvation really. My parents struggled with addiction, and we didn't have the resources to understand healthy living or healthy eating. Since we lived in a food desert, choices were limited. And there were nights where I only ate because food was shared to me from my friends, or I would go to high school and somebody would give me something of their meal. And that shaped the way I saw food and survival. At 14, I also picked up smoking because in my family it was just normal to smoke. It took me well over a decade to finally quit. And a few years ago, I lost one of my great aunts to cancer. She was so obsessed with these fad diets, and she was a little bit heavier than most, but I mean, that was her body, and she felt like she needed to be thin, or she needed to do this, and she needed that, and despite the answers on all those diets, it actually weakened and destroyed her immune system and turned on a genetic variant for cancer. And just even this past month, I lost my stepmother to breast cancer. This is a kind of cancer that could have been prevented with better information and access to care. Heart disease has also been a very big part of my family story. My grandfather had his first heart attack before he was even the age of 35. And both him and my father are on multiple heart medications. And I very closely watch my cholesterol levels, my LDL, all of that. Pressure, kind of like crazy because I don't want to have the same story that they do. And I've watched my step-grandmother endure multiple heart surgeries, stints throughout her body, just to keep her alive. On top of that, my own body story was shaped as shame. Due to the food insecurity in the food desert that I did live in, I was actually teased for being too slender. I was sometimes called a Q-tip, a zipper, or I disappear if I turn, and I was told I didn't have to worry about food or weight. But then when I started to gain weight, the teasing flipped into shaming, and people started shaming me for getting heavier. That whiplash actually showed me how toxic diet culture really is and how much judgment we carry in our about. All these experiences are why I'm here. I believe that everyone deserves access to the truth about health, not just the version paid for by the industries that protect sugar, meat, or whatever product they're now pushing. And I believe that lasting change does not happen overnight. It comes from compassion, from consistent habits, and from rewriting the stories that we've been told about our health and ourselves. Now, I also want you to know this. Now, while I'll do my very best to make sure everything I share on this podcast is research and fact-based, I may not always get it right. I'm not yet a healthcare professional. While this is my passion, and I do plan on getting a degree as a registered dietitian, I'm not there yet. But that is okay. I'm here to learn right alongside you, and we can do this together. If you want to know more about something, or there's a topic that you'd like me to cover, you can always reach out or leave a comment. This podcast is a conversation, not a lecture. And for transparency, while I do follow a plant-based diet lifestyle, I don't believe in pushing my way of eating on anybody. My goal isn't to tell you what to eat. It's to share knowledge, tools, and perspectives that you can adapt your own life in a way that actually works for you. That's what Rewrite Rising is about. It's about taking back the pen, rewriting your story, rising above your past, which you'll hear me say from this point on. So thank you for listening to Rewrite Rising. Remember, you don't have to get it all right. You just have to start. Rewrite your health journey and rise above your past. So new episodes will drop every Monday and Thursday. So follow, share, and subscribe. And I look forward to seeing you next time on your journey with me.